Alright, so 3650 is on the 2,000 gallon Red Rock Tanko. You can hear it there now, it's just after filling up. So we'll shut her off. Yeah, so as I was saying there before the tank got filled, we have the 3650 hooked on. This is the first load of Slurry we're going to do with it. So we're going to try it out. We'll see how it pulls the 2,000 gallon tanko. I don't expect it to run away with it with power. It's going to be probably something similar to like what the 6.4 would be on it. The 3650, like in comparison to the 6.9, there is no comparison. The 6.9 has 180 horsepower on the boost. So this here's got 116 or so standard, so yeah, it's not going to exactly run away with power with you, but it will be interesting to see how it handles the tank in the field. It hasn't frozen that hard. You can see it is starting to snow a little bit, but yeah, no real frost, but there has been great drying the last couple of days, and we're hoping now that it'll be dry enough when we get up there to that we're not going to get stuck or start sliding around the place. But anyway, let's go, let's get this done. So Slurry tankers in the field, 3650 in the field. Tractor is getting a bit of field work. We've got to try it out. So I'll give you my thoughts on using it now on this bit of a voiceover on the drone footage. Quite a bit of drone footage. So I'll see how much the voiceover takes up. I'll probably cut it down a little bit as well, just to not have it too long. And I can add a bit of music in towards the end if I run out of stuff to say. So we'll just see how it works out. Before we get going, just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has sent well wishes, who has sent congratulations, over the last few days on the birth of baby Matthew. Thank you very much to everybody who took time out to send those on, because we were a little overwhelmed with the amount of messages that we got, and I just want to let you know that every one of them is appreciated. They've been read, and just a big thank you. Both Matthew and Suzanne are doing well. Now, Suzanne is quite sore, so I'm having to do a little bit more around the house at the minute than usual, but that's okay. It's only for a few weeks until everything gets back to normal. But yeah, just a huge thank you. Thank you very much. So on to the video. As I said, 3650 is in the field. We've done a few jobs with it. Up until now, the first job we done, we took it for a load of bales meal, which was a long road trip. And it performed very well. Moved on from that. Then I think the next job we done with it was we moved some slurry around the yard with it then as well. That was back before Christmas, and worked well at that. But obviously, you're not really getting to try it out really with the tanker pulling it across the yard, to empty from one tank into another. So it was nice to finally be able to put the tanker on, fill it, and take it up the road and try it out with the full load on it, try it in the field, see what it was like, see what the traction was like, and just give it a proper bit of a field test. And as I expected, it worked very, very well. It pulled the tanker no problem at all. Now, you can't compare the 3650 to the 6.9 because they're not in the same league. They're worlds apart. The 6.9 is a bigger, heavier tractor, a lot more power. They're not in the same category. But you can compare this tractor to the 6.4 because they are in a very similar category. They're in a very similar power bracket. Now, one is a 6-cylinder, one is a 4-cylinder. So weight-wise, the two tractors are basically the same weight out of the factory. I think the 3650 has the edge by like 100 kilos. There's very little in it. The 6.4 is 4-cylinder, 120 horsepower engine with a boost up to, the maximum boost is like to 129, and depending on which power band or bracket you look at. So the 6.4 on horsepower has a slight advantage, as in because the 3650 is 116 horsepower. So, but the 3650 has two extra cylinders doing the work, and that makes a difference. The first I noticed when we had the 3650 on the slurry mixer, when you drop the mixer into the tank and you push the lever forward to rev it out full for mixing the tank, the 3650 revved up to the last full blast. The 6.4 doesn't rev up to the last. It only revs up to, I think it revs out at something around 2300 revs. It only gets to 21 odd. So it hasn't got the PTO power to put it up full blast. So the 3650 has the edge. No matter what anybody says, would have a slight edge over the 6.4 in the field, pulling this tanker as well. Now, yeah, so weight-wise, factory weight-wise, they're very similar. No problem coming out of the factory. I think the 3650 might have a slight edge on the 6.4 weight-wise, but the 3650 has a set of wheel weights which adds an extra 300 kilos to the rear axle weight-wise, so it probably gives it a slight advantage that way. But it just seems to have more. It just seems to have more traction. There's a slightly longer wheelbase on it. Tires wouldn't be great on the 3650. The rear tires are well down. There's probably only about 20% left on them. And ground conditions here weren't ideal by any means. Everyone knows how much rain we've had over the last while. Yes, we had a few days of easterly wind blowing, which helped to dry the top of the ground a little bit. But very impressed with how it worked. You can see here, like this hilly ground, but it is absolutely no problem. There's plenty of traction. Just pulled up there. There was no issue whatsoever. So, quite impressed with it in the field. Issues wise, I've used it now a few times. Mechanical problems, I haven't had any mechanical problems really with it. We had a leak. We had a small leak on a hose underneath, which I just tightened with a Jubilee clip on it, and that was it. But apart from that, there's been no issues. But as I said, you're probably sick of listening to me on about the work we're going to do to it. This tractor's going in, it's getting the brakes, we're going to check the brakes and we're going to do them if they need done. We're going to do the high-low seals in it because they go around 8,000 hours. We're going to we're going to check the PTO pack in it. We're going to check the clutch in it. We're just going to see what it's like, because even though there's only 7,000 hours in this tractor, I don't know the history of it, so you want to just have everything right, that when we go to use this in the summertime, if we have it on the mow, if I might put it on the JF, maybe lift the field with it on the JF, get a bit of footage of it on the 2850 walking side by side. If we have it on the round baler, I want to have it that this tractor isn't going to let me down, that I'm going to have it, be able to use it, get the job done, and that everything is 100% with it. The last thing you want is breakdowns when you're in the middle of trying to beat the rain and to have to lose an hour going home to change the tractor and the rain on its way. So you know the way it is. Grassmen during the week, I don't know whether you've seen it, had a post-op of it was the different headaches you can get, so migraines, and if you haven't seen it, go onto their Instagram page and have a look at it. But their main headache that they have is 3650, and that doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know whether you've seen they had a 12 tractors of Christmas video up before Christmas, obviously, and it's actually a very enjoyable series. I watched it, and they were talking about the 3650, and it's a love-hate relationship with it. They love the tractor, but it has given them endless trouble. They've had it split numerous times, and they just can't seem to get it sorted. But I thought it was very funny. It was kind of a continuation of a bit of a slagging match. Funny enough, it seemed to be all case tractor owners that were tagging me in it. So it's kind of maybe a payback for the cycle match that I was having with we found Adrian. So yeah, that's all to be expected, I believe. But anyway. Alright, so it's a couple of days later. Hope you enjoyed the bit of footage there that I had up of the 3650 walking. It's here in front of me. We haven't hooked it off the tanker yet. It's been parked outside overnight. Tanker is in a savage way for a wash. It's just completely green, so we're going to get that done this week, get it tidied up. We'll check all the oils, all that kind of stuff. So I might video that as I'm doing it, kind of a preparation video for a bit more hectic slurry season that is coming around the corner, hopefully. We've had some terrible weather over the last 24 hours. Very windy, extremely cold, and we had 4 inches of snow as well this morning. So it's fairly unusual for us to get snow in Ireland. We don't get it too often, and when we do, it usually brings everything to a standstill. But yeah, nice to see it disappearing fairly quick. It's melting away very fast there over the last few hours, so it's lovely to look at when it arrives. It's even better to see it disappearing fast. This week's video coming, I've got a box here on the ground. I'll give a sneak preview so you can anybody cop what this is. Let me just lift the box, we'll open it up, and you can have a little look inside. So quick look inside. What is it? Anybody know what it is? Comment in the comment section. We're going to be looking at this during the week. We have to assemble it, put it together, and we'll be using it to do lots of work over the coming year. So yeah, comments down below, see who can get it. Does anybody know what it is? I'll be impressed if you do. Yeah, that's really it. Oh, I'm going to sort a little something out. So as you know, myself and Adrian from We Farm and Farmer P a little bit as well, have been having a little bit of an ongoing slagging match, if you like. Bit of harmless fun with the tractors starting, the case starting. And somebody in the comment section said, well, it's quite easy for your tractor to start. It's quite easy for your tractor to start. It's parked inside all the time. Well, it hasn't been parked inside for the last 24 hours. So we're going to start. It's been out in icy cold conditions. We're going to see how it starts. I'm going to just jump in and start it. Hold on. Alright, so I'm in the tractor now. We're just going to do a cold start. Not heating it, I'm doing nothing, I'm turning on the key. We'll make sure she's out of gear. And we'll hit the start. I rest my case. And if you got a case, you rest yours as well. Preferably along a ditch in a field that you never use, and leave it there. Don't let it get in the way of getting your work done. See you in the next one.